Theater is a form of connection and communication, all centered around the art of collaboration. From the community playhouse and educational institution to the many regional theaters, on Broadway and in the corporate entertainment world, including cruise ships and industrial events, collaboration is at the heart of every show, every production. Collaboration is the blending of art and science, of creativity and the production process. It is the dance that happens when artists, technicians, designers, producers, musicians, marketers, and a wide variety of passionate individuals bring their talents together to develop a singular experience. Projects with Jason is one such collaboration seeking to inspire, educate, connect, and entertain through a series of unique, multifaceted experiences which seek to explore the wonderful spirit that is generated when professionals of all backgrounds and experiences intersect with rising theater students and educators, bringing together working professionals and talented students in a crucible of collaboration that happens when you put people together in a room and charge them to create something. The results are very special. This series of works is designed to enrich and inspire students, educators, artists, and all others as we look to connect, be entertained, and grow as artists and human beings.
I'm Jason Daunter. Join me and our Projects with Jason team as we welcome an actress who the New York Times has hailed the first lady of the American theater. Her career has taken her from Steppenwolf to TV's Roseanne and The Conners, to Broadway, to London, and even an Academy Award nomination. Laurie Metcalf is a force of nature. On this special edition of Artists in Conversation, Laurie is joined by Guy Sanville, the artistic director of the Purple Rose Theater, and playwright Carey Crim. We get the chance to look into the first days of rehearsal for a new play, as Laurie is joined by 3 co-stars from schools in California, Oregon, and Nebraska. Distance Learning, a short play by Carey Crim, gets its premiere today, and we get to observe the development process. This is Artists in Conversation.
Oh my God, we are here for another Artists in Conversation. It is like week 13 of quarantine. I hope you all, for some of us it is. The rest of you are out partying tonight and having a grand old time with no masks on, but we'll get to that later. I'm Jason Daunter. I'm the host of Artists in Conversation and the founder of Project with Jason. I'm so thrilled you're here with us tonight. If you've not subscribed, take a second right now and hit that bell right below you so you can know all the amazing things that are going on here with Project with Jason. It will also alert you in the next couple weeks to some content we have coming out. We've got some new shows. Our live shows are going to go on hiatus for a couple weeks because we're going to take a little summer break here. But we still got some cool stuff coming out from the young, hip Louis Gallagher and the kids over at Virtual Cabaret. Some best of shows to our amazing 4th of July pyrotechnics show with Eric Tucker, who's done the Olympics, Disney stuff. You're not going to want to miss that. Some amazing talk about fireworks on the 4th of July, right? That's amazing. If you've got comments or questions tonight, you can do them right over there. And we will see what those are and throw them to our amazing panel. My dear friend Laurie Metcalf is here tonight, along with new friends, Guy Sanville, Carey Crim, and these amazing students you're about to meet. This was a wild idea that came out of a conversation with Laurie and I to turn this show into what it's become tonight. And God willing, the internet's going to be with us and we're going to make it happen. You got to push the envelope every once in a while and challenge yourself. Otherwise, we just sit complacent, right? So, and I think there's so much of that going on right now that, see something, say something. Well, do it, So I'll leave you with that too. There's gonna be a lot of that tonight because we've got a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things you're gonna hear, and you'll walk away making your own judgment, your own opinion about it. So, but tonight, our guest that we're gonna start with has been hailed by the New York Times as the first lady of the American theater. I mean, amazing. And there are like 4 of them right there. I mean, she just is known to everyone. She's a household name to my friends. She is Aunt Jackie and will always be Aunt Jackie to us. And we got to hang out one night. I'll never forget. We took her out to a bar in New York, and there was literally a receiving line for people to tell their stories to her about what she meant to them growing up. Her moments on stage are unparalleled. A Force of Nature, read the phone book, any of it. I had the great fortune to be by her side developing A Doll's House Part 2 in New York City, which was her first Tony Award win. And we spent a lot of time together, and watching her work in the rehearsal hall was masterclass. She started at Steppenwolf, and she's about the art form. And it was her that said, I don't want the students that we're going to work with this week to think that I have an advantage on them. It starts with the text, and it starts the first day in the rehearsal room. And I want us all to start from the same place. And it's been that, and you're going to get to see the work they've done leading up to tonight. And this is still a process. It's not a performance tonight. We're just going to be observers in their process a little later. But let's get to it. She is a 2-time Tony Award winner, a 3-time Emmy winner, an Academy Award winner, and a really fun gal who likes to walk home after shows and get a glass of wine and pizza. And that's who I know her as. It's Laurie Metcalf, everybody.
You boiled it down perfectly.
I mean, that
you're pretty good at this.
Thanks, lady. Coming from you, I'll take it.
And I loved your intro, and I loved how it was all about collaboration. And I will say that in our rehearsal for Doll's House Part 2, that was one of the biggest collaborative projects I've ever been part of.
Wasn't it? And as soon as you say that, I'm taken right to opening night gifts from Lucas Nath, the playwright, that he gave to the 4 of you. And your co-stars, of course, were obviously the brilliant Chris Cooper, Jane Howdy-Shell, and Condola Rashad. But his gift to the company, tell everybody what that was, because it was pretty amazing.
Well, because Lucas, first of all, to be that collaborative, and I mean, that was the large side of it, because some people don't like to work that way, and that's fine. But Lucas does, the playwright. And so we were pitching lines to him that our characters would say. And so for opening night gifts, he had lines that we had all pitched that he had nixed and didn't make it into the show, into the published script, but that he thought were good enough that they deserved to be framed and given to each of us as a little parting gift. Yeah. But he was so open to anybody and everybody's ideas. And sometimes I kept a lot of the old scripts, and that thing went through major changes.
Yeah, we did. And I think part of what we talked about tonight is that it's become not the norm, but I've had the good fortune the last 4 years to be on new plays and be in the room from like day one when you hear it read for the first time, when those words actually lift off a page, which is what we got to do this week. We got to lift words off a page and hear them on voices. But so many out there, you forget that it's just like, as we were talking here, Matt and I were talking about the clips and stuff. It's like, what do people know and what they don't know? It's secondhand to us what goes into this, but so many people have never had that experience. That's what we're giving them a chance to see tonight, is that. But it did not start for you on the Broadway or at Steppenwolf. It started at Edwardsville High School, correct?
Yes.
And were you on stage at Edwardsville High School? Did you know you wanted to be this performer in those days?
Well, I was very, very shy, but I somehow got up the nerve to audition for the play Auntie Mame. That's the play, right? Or is Mame?
No, Auntie Mame is the play, and then Mame is the musical. Yep.
I wish I could sing, but I can't. But anyway, this is the play. And I had a very, very tiny part, and I fell in love with it. And I never thought I'd make a living at it. So I went to college in a different major, a ridiculous German major. What I thought I'd do with that, I have no idea. But ran into a bunch of really great theater people. They're all pretty great, and people that like to do theater are out of their minds and will suck you right into their cult if you're not careful, which happened to me.
It's amazing.
Geez, I don't know. And then we started Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf was in its 45th season. I don't even know anymore.
And what was that like? Like, I mean, those, because I remember, because I remember these things. I remember vividly a night that some friends came to A Doll's House Part 2, and you were gracious and you came down and you said hello. And this kid from like NYU or Boston Arts or something launched into like your performance in Balm of Gilead that he had seen, and he had gone to Lincoln Center and watched it on tape, and like he was.
I was going to say he couldn't have been a kid because
he went to Lincoln Center and watched it. And I have teacher friends that I know from this work that probably are watching tonight that still speak to, I think, a glass menagerie that was in the old Steppenwolf, like in the basement.
Wow.
Is that right? That they saw that. Like, I mean, we're talking like the early days. What was that like?
That is a very select group of people who happened to see that, because we started a little production, little company in the basement of the church theater, and it sat 88 seats. So, and we ran for 6 weeks. So very few people saw that, and it was 150 years ago. So I'm surprised, but we didn't expect it to take on forever. So there was no master plan. We just knew that we all had a similar sense of what made us laugh, what made us cry. We were all very hard workers and really dedicated to it, even though we didn't think it would take off. It was just something we would work our day jobs and then meet together in this little church basement and entertain each other the best we could.
Yeah. What, in your process, knowing your process, you are very, very devout to the text. We've had Jeff Daniels on the show too, and he and Kevin Kline all have said the same thing. The text is sacred, and you get it, to the letter, and that's the perfection part of it. And having been able to watch you tape an episode of The Conners, in that world, and you would talk to me early on, and I remember you saying you were like, it's crazy. You're like, because you still have a live studio audience in those days, and even last season. And it's like a rock concert happening out there while you all are trying to come up with a show that's still evolving and changing. And like, you have to really kind of put a fourth wall there. I remember you talking about that. So you were launched into that TV world at an early age. And here, all these years later, this character that you started is still there. I mean, what is that? Nobody plans for that in this business.
No, right? I barely even know how to describe playing a character that you started 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, of course, had a, 19-year break, but came back to it, which is like riding a bike, because talk about competitive. The writers on that show worked with the actors, or they would see what the actors' strengths were, and then they would start writing that way. So the individual actors and the writers all came up with those really solid characters. So now it's second nature to me and the writers, how each one of them speak, and even on the Conners now, we have some of the same original writers. So they helped, make not only the characters, but the whole show, of course.
Sure. I think when you take text, like, and everybody knows it, and if you don't, we're not going to show it tonight because we have so many other things to do, but one of my go-to clips when I'm down is obviously Dad's Dead. And if you don't know, I say on the show all the time, like, Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. And it's just, you see that on a page, and obviously there's some direction, maybe some guidance, but it is what the actor or actress lifts off of that to then turn it into that. And at the base, it's
I kind of broke it down. All I knew, and it was written by Norm Macdonald, by the way.
That's right. I remember you. Yes.
A writer.
Amazing, right? Yeah.
Season. And all I knew, on the page, things are very different. And all I knew from the gist of that was that it built and built and built and built until, the last screamed line and then click, hang up. That's all I could tell. Those were the clues to me. That was the clue to me on the page. And then, you sort of rehearsed with it during the week. I don't think the writers ever tweaked it. But I didn't realize what the payoff from the audience would be. I didn't expect it to be that funny, to tell you the truth. I really didn't.
Well, and when I watched it again this morning, because it's a fan favorite, of course, and the second to that, and of course I do the shout out, is the you, Roseanne, and Dan getting high, and they're in the bathroom, and then from behind the shower curtain we hear the you just forlorn or whatever, and just amazing.
Yeah.
When I watched it.
Only because I was pregnant and they were trying to hide it. So they said, where can we we'll put her in the bathtub and covered up. So they came up with a classic line. Otherwise, I never would have been in the bathtub if I wasn't really pregnant.
I love it. But when you look at the Dad's Dead, like this morning, it's built out of honesty and truth is why it's funny. She has someone that cannot hear on the other end. And
when you talked about, I only had theater background, and then I got a TV show, a sitcom no less, which are known to be pretty broad, or can be. But and so I was warned because I'd been, playing to bigger houses, of course, rather than a camera. And it's my first time working with a camera. And I'd been warned, you're going to have to pull way back because, that level of energy, the camera can't take it. But what I found out over all these years, if it's based in something real to you, it can be loud and over the top, and as long as you keep it, honest, like you said.
Yeah. What interests you? I'm going to use because I know it and I was there for that moment. But what interests you in a new script? When A Doll's House Part 2 was brought to you, you heard the concept, you see the conceit, because I'm sure you get a lot of offers. There's a lot of scripts, right? And there's some that are just really okay. But well, you took our offer. We're thankful for that. But you get A Doll's House Part 2. What speaks to it?
Well, right off the bat, specifically with that show, I got a kick out of the title, and I thought this is either super clever or this guy's got a lot of nerve calling it Doll's House.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be super clever. The second thing that I fell in love with was just in the stage direction, was that the actors are all dressed in period costumes, but the language will be contemporary, and your physical, the way you sit and walk should be contemporary, even though you're dressed in these restrictive costumes. I got a kick out of that. And the language was very contemporary with all the swearing and everything. And then as I read through, usually, one of the thing is, sometimes I just want to do a project based on who's in it.
Yeah.
So that came with some people that I really wanted to work with in the room, just be in the room with those people. But if you find that plus a hook that you like about the material, that's, you're doubly blessed of accepting that kind of part. But to me, the hook for that was that it was funny. I could see that it was. And at the end, it really got to me. So I thought, okay, I think I have an inkling of what I could do with it. But you never really know until, not even sometimes the rehearsal room, sometimes previews. And we kept changing during previews. We
did. And you remember, we found it. I remember connecting with it so much more on a deeper, emotional level in the room. It was funny. But we hit that first preview, and you remember, it was like a rock concert out there. We were getting these laughs that I think we knew was going to be there, and then all through previews, they kept trying to change the demographic of audience ages just to see what was the Wednesday matinee crowd going to be like, and it was just crazy. And you're right. I mean, it was my first PSM experience on Broadway, so I will always hold that. I mean, all 4 of you were nominated for Tonys. It was just a glorious time, and even in that room, I remember, you're talking about the period costumes. We're wanting to get David Zinn to come talk to us on the show. But I remember in tech, he had designed that beautiful corset and the jacket and all this, and you were sitting in the chair and you didn't rehearse in a corset. You had it, but you wanted to rehearse the role. I remember being free, so you could figure out what your body did freely, then corset you up and figure out what it did, how you fought against the constraints, right? So I remember you're sitting in the chair and you kind of flipped a foot out, and it turned out part of the petticoat, but you were very almost Fosse. The leg was out, right?
Petticoat, and might I add, a period boot made for my feet, which doesn't happen all that often. I mean,
I do remember you saying that. You were thrilled. Yes,
they were beautiful. Yeah, and I was sitting like a guy. My legs were spread, and I know that David was out in the house watching, and I said, David, can I sit like this? And he said, yeah.
He screamed back, yes. He said, yes, do it. And even Sam Gold, I remember in the room, it was just fascinating for me to watch somebody say, he gave permission for the staging that he wanted and really encouraged. We had that great thrust that came out over the first couple of rows on that diamond kind of shape. And he said, walk the entire parameter of this.
Yeah.
And be able to do that. And also it was the first time, I remember you and I talked about first time for you wearing a body mic. And we were mic'd on that show. And everybody was sort of oh, we don't, that we were doing microphones for you. It was wait, what's this going to take away from? And it didn't. It just allowed us to have an upstage moment that you could be more intimate if you wanted to be.
Right. Yeah. And I remember, when I tried on the costume down at the Winterling Studios where they built it, and it was gorgeous, and I said, okay, I have to get down on the floor and crawl around in it because I knew I wanted to crawl at some point. So they said, okay, go ahead and try. And it was really easy. So that worked really well. Hey, a great costume and wig sometimes can just send you in a direction you hadn't even expected.
You are, I have said it and I mean it, you are one of the lowest maintenance performers I have encountered in the backstage world. If you could dress and wig yourself, you would. You're very much about like, you know, doing your own thing. Your routine though, you do have a routine prior to performances. You like to come in and you like to typically, on that one, you were going through the script every night. You would walk the space a lot. What does that feel like before a show for you?
Before half hour when they would open the house to let the audience in, I would always go, because I like to get there super early. I would go down and do all of my monologues and walk them. And it would just be me and the usher stuffing programs. And then I know she got sick as hell of listening to me do that 8 times a week. Even on 2 show days, I would always do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just, you know, like not a habit, but I had a, you know, like if I didn't do it.
I'm the same way. It's what is that? Because I do the same thing. If I don't wear a watch and a ring,
yeah,
you're superstitious. It's a superstition.
It was a superstition by then. Yeah. So, but yeah, that ate up a lot of my time, and I'm trying to start to wean myself off of having to do that because it's not fun. And then I would get all made up in hair, wig, and costume. Then I would go down to Jane Howdy-Shell's dressing room, and I would make her. I'm sure she didn't want to do it. Make her run the first scene with me, our first little scene together. And I would have a cup of coffee that Lyle would make for me. No, yeah, it was Lyle on that show. Have a cup of coffee. Always, you know, good to get just a little
kick.
Little kick, yeah, a little kickstart.
Kick.
And yeah, so that was. I guess that still is my pre-show warm up.
Ritual, I guess, is the other word I was looking for. It becomes a ritual at that point. So. You do that. The other thing you can relate to, especially with our students and you and I talked about, is you can relate to, you were in previews, but you had a show this spring as well with everything that went down, get canceled. And not just a show, not a 90-minute, an epic, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Martha, close to 3 hours, and talk about that. Oh, look at, yes, come on.
Pull a sweatshirt out of it.
Good swag. There's always good swag.
Good swag. We did 9 previews, and then Broadway got closed down, and it was pretty devastating. But I can relate to every student who had to go through that same withdrawal period of something that they had worked on so hard, and then didn't really get to delve into all the way. Yeah, that was tough.
What still brings you joy? Well, I still say yes to 8 shows a week because that's tough. You know, what still brings you joy about this?
I'm so fortunate, and I count my lucky stars that I still, after all these years and at my age, still have a passion about working on a show. And sometimes I like contemporary shows. I like, classics that I've never been able to, work on, like Virginia Woolf or Three Tall Women. My favorite time is in a rehearsal room, and where I feel the most creative. I feel energetic. I do like to collaborate. There's a lot of laughs usually. I've been really lucky lately that, the ensembles I've been able to work with, including, producers and directors, have just been so. It's always been a highlight of my career. I'll always drift back to theater, maybe because I came up in theater and I feel like I know more what I'm doing in theater. Cameras, not so much. I never even wanted to, some actors can learn a camera and learn the angles and the lighting and that's great. It makes them better. I mean, but I just never had any interest in that. But I just, I like the instant gratification of being on a stage.
Yeah. And I know because I've done it, you are so collaborative. And I think what was amazing, there were more comments in the last 72 hours this week about
oh my God, we got to be back in rehearsal. You know, and I was hearing from people, and it did feel, yes, Zoom is not our favorite thing. And we had internet stuff today and it was frustrating, but it did feel like, oh my God, we were in a rehearsal room. We were having conversations. And also I want to say thank you right off the bat for like, just agreeing to do this. There's not many that would put themselves and say, I'm going to do a scene with high school students. And you were very much, you helped shape where this went. When you and I had the initial conversation, I said, what about doing a scene with a couple high school kids and you'll just perform it? And you said, but why? Why are we just performing it? You know, what are people getting out of it? And
I was really serious about that. I don't have a magic, bag of tricks where I can just open it and then the performance is there. I start from scratch every time. And sometimes I'm learning the same stupid, I'm making the same mistakes on every show that I work on. And but I like that. And some shows are very misleading. Some things, I know exactly how to do that. And they end up being the hardest ones you've ever worked on. And others that you don't have a clue end up being so rewarding when you finally crack it and you've gotten to where you understand your path through the role. I don't know. I find it all fascinating because when I was in college, I actually was majoring in language and anthropology. And so in a weird way, it's all about observing behavior and language. And it's just endlessly fascinating to me and there's no end to it.
Yeah. I love that. So we're going to send you away in a minute so we can actually we're going to have you back for another episode. Let's be clear, because we're going to do a whole clip episode. But one of my favorite lines that the two of us ever shared was after said night in New York, the cast of A Dallas House Part 2 went out. All four went down. We had a night out. There were drag queens. It was wine. It was great. And you're hugging me to leave. And you said, geez, I guess if I ever feel sorry and sad for myself, I just need to find a gay bar. And I said, I've been telling you this for how long? Like it was
I know. They made me feel terrific about my
receiving line. I remember literally like Chris left. Everybody's like, we like Chris Cooper too, but we were really waiting for you. It was like this receiving line for Aunt Jackie. It was amazing. So honey, thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to send you away so you can get ready to prepare with the students and everything. And we'll see you back in a bit. But we appreciate you being here. I love everything you do. And I know the audience is glad you're here. So we'll see you in a little bit. Laurie Metcalf, everybody. So first day of rehearsal, right? Everybody's doing that weird thing of standing, looking at each other. There might be a little crudité, maybe a little bagel, a little cup of coffee, whatever. And then it's kind of the awkward dance. Even if you know everybody's there. And there's usually a date, whether there's going to be a performance or not. There's usually some sort of pressure on it that it's like, we're going to get it. We're going to move to something else. So there's some sort of pressure around it, right? I firmly believe that everyone's stuff, baggage, whatever you want to call it, manifests from a place of insecurity. We all have that somewhere, right? No matter how many times you've done it, is this the time they're going to find out I'm a sham? That this is the time that they're going to find out I don't know what I'm doing, right? So there's all of that. So that happened even earlier this week. We had a big rehearsal a couple days ago and we recorded it so we could show you part of the process. And then after that, and I take you kind of through what an original play, mounting an original script looks like. And then we're going to be joined by the cast a little later in their rehearsal live today to watch them work and then some Q&A later. But today we are thrilled. I want to tell you a little bit about the company that you're seeing, and then we're going to launch right into it. But this idea I picked up the phone and called Guy Sanville, who's the artistic director at Purple Rose Theater in Michigan. I talked to the education production team here, Gay Jones, Krista Elhigh, Jeff Hall. We all got on a call and I said, here's the pitch. What do we think? How are we doing? And that was 2 weeks ago. I think maybe 2 weeks ago, almost today. And we pitched around some ideas and Guy said, Carey Crim has done a lot for us here. Maybe she has something in her wheelhouse that we can pull and use, but let me call her. Called her, said, hey, are you interested? She said, let me talk to Jason. Let's write something. So she agreed to write this. So we've written this. We said, what are we doing? We did not put any confines on it. We said it's just going to be presented on a social platform like this, but that shouldn't confine your writing. But we did feel it should talk about today, about what we're going on. And the word isolation kind of bounced out of that conversation between Carey and I. And I sort of said, I don't want to say any more because I don't know. Again, I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. That's not my language. And I didn't know, what it was going to look like. She went away, she wrote, we had auditions. The Guy Sanville screened all the performers and was able to look at them. We came up with this company and went into a rehearsal process. So tonight we're thrilled that I want to make sure that I say all these right. We've got Josiah Chambers representing Gresham High School in Oregon. We have Callie Fichtel from Millard West High School in Nebraska, Laurie Metcalf. Olivia Rosselli, who is San Juan Hills High School out here in California, she was, I wanted to give an opportunity to someone to just say you're a swing, like an understudy, even though we knew she probably wouldn't go on, but are you interested in just being in the room and seeing this? And she said, are you kidding me? Yes, and she had novels to write. I asked them all to write after the first day of rehearsal and tell me like what the experience meant and some specific questions that Cambria Graff, another one of our education production team members, wrote. And she just said, just being able to watch it, because this is the stuff people don't see is the process. You know, how do you get to? We always judge the product, but most of us would say it's the process. Cheyenne Torres from San Juan Hills. We've got Luke Motensbacher from Jesuit High School, who's our stage manager. And then obviously rounding out that company is Carrie and Guy. So let's start off with looking at what a first day of rehearsal looks like for a new play on Zoom.
Hi, I'm Guy. I'll confess right now, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never directed anything on Zoom before. I work at the Purple Rose Theater Company. I've been the artistic director there for 25 years, and we do mostly new work. We worked with Carrie a lot. She's a resident artist with us. And how many of your shows have we done, Carrie? 6, 7?
6 or 7, yes.
6 or 7.
Never this way, but we're gonna figure this out. I'm glad it's you.
Yeah. Laurie, Jeff says hello.
Oh, good. Tell him I said hi.
I will do that. And yeah, so you know, the Purple Rose, we're very fortunate. We get to find the thing together, and we don't talk about a lot. You can talk about the scene, or you can get up and do the scene, and we sort of figure it out as we go along. I'm very excited to work with you all, and again, this is not we're not going towards some finished, you know, performance opening night deal. We're going to explore this material together and see what we learn.
Yeah, I'm Laurie, and I'm playing Mrs. Rhodes, and there's probably nothing I like better in the world than being in a first day of rehearsal. So this is about as close as we're going to get these days, and it's great to have something to be working on. It's my favorite thing.
Absolutely. Carey Crim.
Hi, I'm Carey Crim. I'm the playwright. Completely agree. This is my favorite place to be. And really, really excited to be a part of this. Thank you for including me in this, and really looking forward to the process and seeing what unfolds.
Absolutely. Let's go to Josiah.
Hey, I'm Josiah. I'm a student actor. I'm gonna play. Sorry. Ooh, nerves. I'm sorry. Yeah. Also, my first time doing.
Too, so
yeah,
so
it's my
know.
first. It's my first time doing something like this. You know, I usually play very minor roles, and you know, I'm from Gresham, Oregon. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do with this.
I go by Shy. I'm playing Mia, and I am super excited to be in something like this because I've never quite done something like this, like a little thing over Zoom. So I like how we're incorporating technology into this.
I think that's one thing we all have in common, right? This is going to be the first time for everybody sort of putting this up and also presenting it on this level. So absolutely, we've all got that. Olivia, talk to us.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm here to kind of just observe and get a feel for what's going on. I'm really excited to watch. This is the first time that obviously anything like this is going to happen, and it's really cool to be able to sit in and like watch the process and get a feel for it.
I'm Callie. I'm from Millard West in Nebraska, and I usually do tech stuff, so this is really cool to be able to do the acting more, because I've only been doing a couple shows and they're usually minor, and yeah, this is really cool.
Okay, hello, I'm Luke. I'm the stage manager, and I'm from Jesuit, same as Jeff.
And what state is that in?
That's in Oregon.
Excellent.
Wonderful, rainy Oregon.
Rainy Oregon, that is the truth. 26 days when I was there for a 30-day run of Wicked. That is the truth. So there it is. Everybody's awkward, looking at each other, like, what are we doing here, right? First day of rehearsal. You move on then, and you start and you dive into the work. One of the things about these plays is, you know, take Death of a Salesman, right? A classic. It went through versions. You know there were versions. You can find things. There are companies when, Hello Dolly Revival, the West Side Story Revival, both of those, that they unearthed, you know, the earlier drafts and looked and said, does some of this come back? Does it stay? Does it go? Things go through. They don't just end up the product you see on the stage, right? And a lot of that is the collaborative process. Once you start hearing voices on those words and they lift off the page, right? A lot of times you hear page to stage. Take the text, put it right on the stage, and it can work. And you do inflection and you hear it. That line might need to go. This might sound more contemporary. This doesn't work here. You're gonna see some of that today. But it starts with each of us individually going into a theater, right, to watch a show and having an experience. Same thing happens with all these actors, directors, everybody reads the play, and it's what does it mean to you? That's where the next dialogue starts.
Awesome. How's everybody doing today?
Okay.
I'm really asking. It's a scary time. I just want to go around the room and in 20 words or less, just tell Carey and I what you think the play's about.
I think I'll start.
Let me start by saying you can't do anything wrong here today, okay? You really can't. We're just playing. We're just working.
Shit.
Josiah?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I was going to say people getting used to a new situation. Yeah, they're obviously all in, a different kind of situation that they wouldn't expect to be in. And so they're kind of getting used to it, I guess. And that's how I felt about the whole thing. They're getting to know each other better while also being in such a hectic environment.
Cool.
I think it's about perspectives. So like everyone has their own issues and problems with what's happening and going on. So I really think this is about how like you should look about like at other people's issues and try to be considerate of that instead of living in your own world.
I felt like it was more about adapting to the situation and then about the fear that's going on right now with Corona and the Black Lives Matter stuff. It's kind of scary right now. So.
It sort of, in a way, boils down to how maybe we listen to each other, or it's all about connection, I guess.
Good. It's interesting. It's and please forgive me. I'm old and I'll mess up names. Callie?
Yep.
Okay. I wrote down this morning. It feels like a horror story to me. Fear of the unknown. It's a very scary time. I agree. Trust. And it asks an incredible question, which is why bother? What's the point? The idea of reading The Great Gatsby in the midst of this thing is pretty silly on a lot of levels. Maybe James Baldwin or something. But it's it's a scary time for sure. And I think that feeds into that for sure. Carey?
Yeah, I was going to say connection through disconnection. It's for me, it's about all the ways that we still need to reach our humanity and to touch each other, even when we can't actually touch each other. But that as human beings, that's what we can't seem to do without. And so it's all these people trying to connect through physical barriers, emotional barriers, all kinds of different barriers, but still trying to, to touch each other.
The connection through disconnection. Like that right there, when I heard that, I was like, this sums up, my personal experience of everything. It's what we're all going through right now. So this piece is set with high school students and their teacher, Mrs. Donna Rose. She's an English teacher in Philadelphia. And they are having a Zoom call to check in and touch base basically about just what's going on. She's been noticing their grades are slipping and what is that about? And that's where the dialogue begins, right? So that's where it starts. So you get in the rehearsal room. A director has obviously an informed opinion off of what they see in the text. The author a lot of times will have something they want to say with it. When Aaron Sorkin was here, we had that great debate about how much of Sorkin's dialogue is Aaron Sorkin and how much is him, speaking to a piece. And even he caught himself saying, no, that line is totally Aaron Sorkin. So there's a feeling behind what they're wanting to say, but then the artists in the room come out and have other comments and thoughts on it too. different ways to find things without saying you need to say it this way or you need to do it this way. It's collaborative, and how do you unearth that performance out of those performers? Guy Sanville is an actor whisperer. Take a look.
One time, and you want to read the stage directions? Yeah.
My computer is being a little glitchy, so if I don't pick up a cue, it's because I'm sort of jerking along a little bit.
Sure. And listen, we just want to hear the play this first time through. You don't have to do any acting. You don't have to worry about anything. Carey, do you want to hear the stage directions as well?
I don't need to hear them this time. I think probably at some point we're going to want to, but I'm fine without them this time.
Okay, great. So we won't worry about the stage directions. Let's just read through it. We just want to hear the play. Don't worry about acting. You can't do anything wrong. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Okay. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, me too. Are we better or worse than Monday? Everybody here? Where's Eli?
Mia?
What? I'm his girlfriend, not his keeper.
What I hear he's totally whipped.
You can say anything. Go ahead. You want to say something, Josiah? I can see it.
No, just, the end got me, you know? The end got me. Yeah. It's just, you know, for reading it the second time around, I'm like, wow. Maybe I want him to be okay, you know, at this point. Yeah, so.
Okay. All right, great. So it's 9 in the morning. Let's read it again, if that's okay. And I wanna do something that may seem a little weird. I want to take a 5-second pause between every line. Now that's not internally, but just give me 5 seconds before you pick up your cue. Can we try that, please? Does everybody understand? It's going to take a while. And if you jump in too quick, I may interrupt you. So let's try it.
Guy?
Yes.
Should we be, are we, do you want us to pick up something specific on, you know, with this exercise?
Yes, I want you to listen and breathe and absorb. Really receive what you've just heard.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
How's everybody doing today? Yeah, me too. Are we better or worse than Monday? Is everybody here? Where's Eli?
Mia?
What? I'm his girlfriend, not his keeper.
Not what I hear. I hear he's totally whipped.
Hey, Mia, guys, you're being too nice to each other, all right? Blame each other for your problems, all right? Let's take it again from the top, please.
The thing about a rehearsal space is a lot of performers, directors, stage managers, creatives, it's a temple. It's a sacred space. I remember hearing back in the day that newspapers, you know, off to the sides were something that didn't happen. You didn't bring a newspaper in because you weren't, if you wanted to read the newspaper, go sit outside the rehearsal room. Now it's cell phones. Cell phones are off, they're put away. If you want to look at them, you step outside the room because that's a space that everyone's creating in, and the energy in that room should throw toward the process, whether it's a new play or not, right? I also have to laugh that I'm doing something completely out of the ordinary, which is, you know, the entire company that's getting ready to go into rehearsal in a minute is watching all these clips of 2 days ago, which people usually hate seeing clips of themselves, not knowing what we're showing. So it'll be great for them to get in rehearsal in a minute and see each other because they can't even see each other in the virtual backstage. But I think that's part of also this too, that we're still getting some normalcy to this idea of trying to connect over the internet. We learned today that the idea of stepping on each other's lines doesn't necessarily work with the current way sound processes through a computer and all those kind of things. So it's like, well, you can't really do that. So you're still trying to find out. And at the end of it, is there still a story there? That's the thing. You hear sometimes these shows need, a $14 million helicopter. No disrespect to any of those shows, but it should start with the text. If there's a good story there, it's not about the $14 million helicopter. Joe Mantello, actually, this is coming to me like a longtime director of Laurie's. I've heard him say at the end of Wicked, where it becomes, spoiler alert, where it becomes a silhouette of the melting sequence. He said, the audience's imagination is going to be more powerful than whatever we could put on that stage for this iconic moment from the movie. So there's some of that, right? And you're finding those moments in the process. Also, you're going to find some stuff that needs to go or a moment that doesn't work. And there are varying degrees of that collaborative nature. Laurie wasn't wrong. Some writers are going to want to go home that night and spend some time on it. Some are going to talk in the moment. Some are just going to see what the actors are giving them. And I think what I was most impressed about this week was it was literally the bravery of everyone to have a dialogue, including our high school students. So this is what happens when you need to make some changes and discuss what the shape of the piece is.
From Mia.
I'm okay with them adding in little things if they need to, also to stay on top of each other, because I know it's a little harder in this scenario than it would be on stage.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you need to add in little, things, that's fine.
Everybody got that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, from let's take it from Mrs. Rhodes. Why not?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
When I go talk to Emmett?
Yes.
Do you want me to, I've just been leaning over, do you want that, or do you want me to just leave?
I like the lean. I like the lean. What do you think, Carey?
I had imagined it leaving and you would just hear it, but I think the lean is pretty funny too. So
Oh, you like the lean. Okay.
Yeah, the lean is very, very, very fun.
And then when I come back, can I tweak, the line is, and I thought I was muted. So, and then I guess when I come back, I sit down, I see that the mute is not off. Can I say oh, sorry, I thought I was muted?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. And you can actually cut my kids and I are struggling with this whole distance learning thing too. I feel like that's.
Yeah, sorry.
I have a question about a line. Can I tweak the I know call line? Can I say please call? Because I feel I don't know. I feel like the call is more like a command, and I'm a little more desperate. So it's please call. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
Yep.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know what page it's on, but when Darius comes back in the room and sits down, are you getting from our facial expressions why he says, oh, great, that we're feeling, bad for him and he didn't want that information leaked? Is it enough that you're seeing it on our faces? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great question. Carey?
Yeah, I don't know. It is hard in this situation. I couldn't, because it is that sort of got caught in the cookie jar, but how do you do that on a Zoom screen?
Well, where is that? What page? Oh, I know. It's on 6.
It's on 6. Yep.
So
go to Helmia.
He sits back down. What's up, guys? And maybe I say, oh, Darius. And he goes, go to Helmia. No, it's not her fault. I asked.
I think that's great. Because I think we do need something vocally there, just since it is hard to read.
Okay, so I'll just say
facial expression. Oh dear, yeah.
After, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Great. Good. And just remember, guys, the meaner we are to each other early in this thing, the more it'll land when we're taking care of each other. We're taking care of Mia at the end, okay? Not the dumbest thing I've ever said, but yeah.
I kept that moment right there. I don't know if you heard, he kind of said it under his breath, but he said, that's not the dumbest thing I've ever said. And it was just such a great moment of him kind of internalizing too. But the permission was given early on. I hope you saw it. I know I saw it in the comments too. The permission was given early on that we're just here to play. I say a lot of times when I was putting replacement actors into some of the big musicals, I'd be like, you already have the job. So throw it out the window right now. You've already got the job. Get that out. Let's just figure out what we need to get to, right? So that permission to make it a safe space and find and create and throw a lot of things on the wall and find what sticks. We've heard those lines used here on this show, this very show as well. But again, the bravery to like talk about it, to have the conversation, the students that were asking questions, like it's coming from a place of where they think that character needs to go. Now, again, some authors may say, let me go away and write, and don't say too much. In this instance, there was that dialogue there. So it is a give and take, right? But it's still a collaborative process, everybody working toward a common goal of making it the best that it can be, right? So that being said, I want to show you what scripts look like too also, because a lot of people don't know this. So this is what a script page looked like. One of the scenes we were kind of talking about. I didn't know that. Sorry, Mrs. Rhodes. I know you don't like when we gossip, but no, this is different. That's not gossip, that's caring, right? What's up, guys? Go to hell, Mia. Right? The scene we were talking about where Darius comes back into the room, there's an awkward moment. So it was discussed. And then what happens is Carey goes away. Either the line is decided on in the room, which could be that Laurie proposed something and that's what we went with, or that night Carey will say, I went with this, or this is what it came. Then it looks like this in the new version. There's lots of ways you can do this, but it's about calling attention, like usually with an asterisk off to the right, or it's also highlighted to tell you there's been a change or a cut made. I think film and TV sometimes go to different color pages. So it's like a blue page that gets inserted into your script. The biggest thing about this is just purely technical from a stage manager's perspective, is that if the pages aren't locked and you start the first day of rehearsal, you want to make sure when the changes are made, like all the page numbers aren't changing, because it's a disaster. All right, then you got A, B, C pages. You got nobody on the right script, and it's just reach out to me if you want to hear some of those stories. There's PAs, I'm sure, that are hearing it, right, just cringing across the United States that have had to be in charge of scripts on new plays. In musicals, too. It can be. Think about this on musical, too. You've also got musical numbers, right, and everybody that has to get those pages. So it's all part of that process. So we get to the end of a first rehearsal. You're figuring out what the next steps are. The next steps are to come back in the next day and start again. So we're going to take a look at what the end of the first day of rehearsal looked like. And after that, we're going to join the rehearsal room today of this distance learning, a short play where we're just going to be observers for a little bit and see what Guy Sanville and the team is cooking. So take a look.
No, I absolutely loved that. Thank you. It was really, really, really lovely to hear. I have a couple cuts as I always do, but we don't have to do them now. Yeah, actually, you know what? They're so small. It's not even really that important. But yeah, if there are any, we'd probably email them, right?
We can, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, sit on it tonight, and it's super easy to get them out. We'll do whatever. Yeah, we'll send them out via email. But
Okay.
don't feel like you can't make changes you want to make. Let's do them if you want to do them.
Okay.
All right.
Absolutely.
If anybody has anything that you want to talk about or any concerns or questions, you can email me anytime. Jason has my email address, and
yep.
I have no life outside the theater, so I'm always available.
And Carey and Guy, do you think, and I can talk to the two of you because I'll set it up, like before we, like I'll set up like what they're seeing and stuff, but I didn't feel like we were missing any stage directions. Did you? I feel like other than the setup at the very beginning that we just kind of go, right? We don't need any, okay.
Yeah.
That in your emails.
Thank you.
Josiah,
Yes.
are you still nervous?
No. It's gone now.
I am. No. Great.
That was amazing, you guys.
It's fun.
I know everybody's like, can we just take a break and come back? I can see it. It's like, let's just do act 2. Like,
Getting warmed up.
Have a great evening, everybody. Seriously, reach out if you need anything, and we'll talk very soon. I appreciate it.
Jason.
All right.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Hello.
Hey.
Are we supposed to rehearse now? Is that what we're doing? Okay. Well, let's take it from the top and read through it. Remember to breathe and try to talk to one another as best we can in this medium. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm going to exit stage right for my entrance. Oh, how is everyone doing today? Yeah, me too. Are we better or worse than Monday? You? Everybody here? Where's Eli?
Mia.
What? I'm his girlfriend, not his keeper.
Not what I hear. I hear he's totally whipped.
Whatever.
Okay. Has Eli joined the meeting? Eli, if you're here, I can't see you. If you're here, you need to turn on your camera. I'm sorry, just a second. I can't help you with that right now, Emmy. See if your sister can. No, I'm in my class meeting. I just told you I need 30 minutes where you just pretend that I'm not here and you have to problem solve on your own. Get the dog off the counter now. God damn it. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. Sorry.
Darius, are you in your closet?
Yeah.
Okay, weirdo.
Well, it was the only place quiet, so.
Well, you might want to get your dirty, nasty boxer shorts out of the frame.
Wait, what? Oh.
Ew. Just change your Zoom background.
I can't.
It's so easy. I'll just show you. Just go into your settings and where is it at?
No, I'm using my mom's old computer and it's like ancient and like doesn't do shit.
Did you apply for one of the computers from the district?
They ran out.
Well, let me see what I can do.
No, it's fine.
No, I may even have one that you can use when all this is over. Okay. So, guys.
I'm not a guy.
Right, I know. Still unlearning 40 years of everything.
It's all good.
Hi, I just want to look into your eyes right now and make sure you're all okay, because life is.
Miss Rhodes, we can't see you.
What?
Did you turn your video off?
I don't think so. Am I back?
You are.
Okay. Well, so what was I going on about?
During these uncertain times.
Right. Okay. If I never hear the word unprecedented again, I'll be happy. So doing school like this is hard. This is not the way that I know how to be a teacher. And this is not what any of us signed up for, but this is what we have. And then this is what we have to do for now. So why aren't any of you turning in your assignments? Because that's why I asked to have the extra meeting with the four of you this morning, if Eli ever signed on, because you haven't been turning in your work. So I thought that maybe we could talk about that, see what some of the problems might be, and maybe help each other be accountable.
We don't, though.
Don't what?
Have to be accountable.
Yes, we do.
It's all pass-fail, though, isn't it? And I heard they weren't going to fail anyone unless they were failing before the shutdown, so we don't really have to do anything.
Please stop looking at your phone. Okay, so all right, maybe that's true. So are you only in this for the grades then?
Well, I'm already accepted to Penn State, so why does it really matter?
I see.
I've been trying to get all of it done. It's just, I swear, it's just hard.
The work, because it's mostly review, and you are so much.
Hang on. Sorry, my sister's calling me. What?
Is he okay?
Well, I mean, his mom is a frontline worker and his dad is, I actually don't know where, but his mom is in food service at the hospital. She comes home and doesn't even get to see them. She goes straight to her room and showers and whatever, and he wipes down like everything that she touched. And then he has to take care of his 3 younger sisters. So I don't even know if they always have enough to eat. So I kind of get why he's in his closet.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do. Sorry, Mrs. Rhodes. I know you don't like it when we gossip, but
no. This is not gossip. This is caring.
What's up, guys?
No, Darius.
Go to hell, Mia.
No, it's not her fault. I asked.
See, I'm fine. It's just this stupid computer. I'll catch up.
Do you have any other family who could come and stay until this is all over?
No, it's just us. But I got it all covered. Mia worries too much.
She's a good friend. Of course, she's not doing her work either, but maybe if she could get off of her phone long enough to join the conversation.
Sorry.
What is going on with you?
I've been trying to reach Eli.
You text him after class. Turn the phone off.
But
off.
I have been doing my work. I just haven't been turning it in.
Why not?
I guess I just don't really see the point. I mean, like, the whole world is falling apart, right? Like, even if the virus doesn't get us, the earth is still cooking and there could be another school shooting. Like, the moment we go back or another friend commits suicide or ODs or gets shot or the whole country ends up in a civil war just because we can't even seem to agree on the fact that Black lives do, in fact, matter. Just matter. That's all that's being asked. Whether a human being matters is actually being questioned in this country. So how am I supposed to care about the great fucking Gatsby? I don't care.
Okay. I'm not going to let you off the hook because the three of you are as smart as hell. And I think that education is the thing that gets us out of this mess someday. But I also think that I've been doing this a long time and I still have so much to learn. So forget the Great Gatsby for now. We're going to read some new books, a better list. You can all pick one.
Anything?
Yeah. No Twilight, no 50 Shades.
Ha, too bad, Kaylee.
Shut up.
We have work to do. But I get that sometimes what's going on out there makes that really difficult. And we can't just pretend that it isn't going on. So how about we just agree to show up, however you're feeling, in our little square boxes with our lame backgrounds. And we talk and we listen and we debate and we sit with it, whatever it is. Because I'm angry and frustrated and scared. But you are the thing that gives me hope. And I feel like that I just might need to listen to you for a while.
No, Mrs. Rhodes. I mean, your voice has been, like, really important to us.
Yeah, that's why he went. Because of the stuff you say in class. You inspired him.
Who went?
Eli. He wanted to go to the protest, but his parents said, he was too young and it's too dangerous downtown. But he snuck out and went anyway. I was supposed to be his emergency contact, but I haven't heard anything, and I'm not even sure he came home last night.
Why didn't you say something?
I promised him I wouldn't. His parents
There was looting and rioting last night, which I totally don't get because those are Black-owned businesses.
Okay, Karen.
I'm way too young to be a Karen.
Oh, give it time.
How can I be a Karen when your boyfriend has been my best friend since first grade?
No, you see that's such a Karen thing to say.
Yeah.
What?
My boyfriend is Black? Really?
Come on.
That's not what I meant. Come on. If Eli was down there last night and hasn't called you,
I know.
All right, y'all better break it up. What? What is so funny?
You saying y'all.
Well, that's my new guys. I'm going Southern, y'all.
South Jersey, maybe. What if something happened to him?
Turn your phone back on. Try him again.
Okay.
maybe he was just out really late and he overslept.
That's what I keep hoping. Voicemail. Babe, call me as soon as you get this. Please. I'm really worried about you.
He's a smart kid. He wouldn't have done anything stupid.
He wouldn't have, but that doesn't mean other people wouldn't.
So I have to call his parents. You understand that, right? This is not about getting in trouble or anything.
Please call. I'm so scared.
He'll be okay.
You will.
He'll be okay. Please let him be okay. Make him be okay.
Wow. That was really, really great. Good Lord. Okay. I'm supposed to give you something to do right now, so we'll have some fun. How's that sound? I want to take the fight again on page 8, but I want you to really let each other have it this time. Who can snort of the students? Can any of you snort?
I can't.
Nobody can. Come on. Who did that? Who did that?
I did. That was me. Sorry.
I want some vocalization from somebody, okay? Something, a snort or whatever, after Laurie says y'all, okay? Have some fun with that, all right? That was really great. So let's take it from, let's go back and get a run at it here. On page 8, with we'll start with Laurie, Mrs. Rhodes. We have work to do, but I get that sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
We have work to do, but I get that sometimes what's going on out there makes that really difficult, and we can't just pretend that it's not going on. So how about we all agree just to show up? However we're feeling in our little square boxes with plain backgrounds, and we talk and we listen and we debate and we sit with it, whatever it is, because I'm angry and frustrated and scared, but you are the only thing that gives me hope. And I feel like I just might need to listen to you for a while.
No, Mrs. Rhodes, your voice has been really important to us.
Yeah, that's why he went. Because of the stuff you say in class, you really inspired him.
Who went?
Eli, he really wanted to go to the protest, but his parents said, he's too young, it's too dangerous downtown. But he snuck out and went anyway. I was supposed to be his emergency contact, but I haven't heard anything, and I don't even know if he came home last night.
Why didn't you say something?
I promised him I wouldn't. You know his parents, they will kill him.
I totally don't get it because those are black-owned businesses
Okay,
too.
okay, Karen.
I'm way too young to be a Karen.
Oh, give it time.
How can I be a Karen when your boyfriend has been my best friend since like first grade?
See, that's the Karen thing to say.
Yeah.
What?
My best friend is black? Like, really? Come
on. That's not what I meant. Come on. If Eli was down there last night and hasn't called you.
Okay.
Hey, y'all, better break it up. What? What's so funny?
You saying y'all?
Well, that's my new guys. I'm going Southern, y'all.
South Jersey, maybe. What if something happened to him?
Turn your phone back on. Try him again.
Okay.
Maybe he was out really late and he overslept or something.
That's what I keep hoping. Voicemail. Babe, call me as soon as you get this. Please. I'm really worried about you.
But he's a smart kid. He wouldn't have done anything stupid.
He wouldn't have, but doesn't mean other people wouldn't.
Okay, I have to call his parents. You understand that, right? This isn't about getting in trouble or...
I know. Please call.
Oh.
I'm so scared.
He'll be okay.
You will.
He'll be okay. Please let him be okay. Oh. Make him be okay.
That was great. That's all I got, Jason. They're great. Anything I give them will just screw it up. Carrie, you want to say anything?
I got nothing. I love you guys. You got it all.
Let's take this baby on the road.
Laurie too. That was pretty. It was great. I'm looking at comments that are coming in the whole time they've been talking. But somebody just posted that Carrie, you dealt with so many issues in a short amount of time. Incredibly impressive. And we all had that talk that it's like we're throwing in everything but the kitchen sink in this, and really going after it. And I think because it came from a place of honesty, and I'm just so thrilled to have watched the growth of everybody on this since we started a couple of days ago. Yeah, and even today we saw it. So I'm just thrilled. I want to start with you two right off the bat. Guy Sanville, you said you don't understand this whole education thing, and you didn't mean that. You said in a rehearsal, in a sort of you don't get it, but you only know one way to work. And that was sort of, I loved that when you were you had a moment where we found out how to do breakout rooms on Zoom, because that was one of your first concerns when you agreed to this, was you said, I like to have moments where I talk to an actor and tell them something nobody else needs to know, and it's a surprise the next time we do it, right? And so we went to a breakout room and had a conversation with an actress. And then I remember you said it and you just wanted them, it was dumbass. You wanted her to call whenever she saw his name, dumbass. And I remember just watching you clock it once you said it. And you were like, oh, are you okay with that? And that was the only moment you sort of were there was an age factor, right? Because you only know how to work one way. And that was how you approached this.
Yeah, we do a lot of, one of the things we do in rehearsal, like I said, we have the opportunity to find it together. And, we encourage actors to speak the subtext out loud sometimes. For example, in The Glass Menagerie, most of the second act is the gentleman caller and Laura. And, he says, would you like a stick of gum? And she says, yeah, I would. Well, that scene is not about a stick of gum. It's leading up to a very important event, which is a kiss, which changes a relationship forever. So when the actor says, looks her in the eye and says, would you like a stick of gum? I'd really like to kiss you. And she says, I would like a stick of gum. I'd really like you to kiss me. I mean, of course, on the day, you don't do that, but that's still there. So, yeah, we do all kinds of nutty stuff.
Yeah, and I think, Carrie, following up for you, when you're given this, and there was a time constraint put on this too, right? There was sort of hey, do you want to do this? Can you come up with an idea? No pressure. And you knew when the students were auditioning, they didn't know it was Laurie Metcalf. They just knew it was going to be a collaborative thing, but you knew her voice was going to be on it. So talk a little bit about what the last 14 days for you have been like, where it was hey, nice to meet you over the phone. Let's do this and come up with something that can fit into, which originally at the time we said 6 minutes. Remember we thought we could do this in 6, we were going to do a 6-minute scene. Talk to that.
When it turned out to be 10 pages or so, I just thought, oh, we'll just cut it or, stop at some point. But for me, I mean, I'm a Laurie Metcalf super fan. I think any theater person is, but it was tough to get a little bit past that because I was just so excited to be getting to work on something that she would be involved in. And also you and I, Jason, had talked about isolation, about we wanted the piece to be of the moment, but I also didn't want it to be so on the nose that it was here's the issue play. But I also realized in quarantine, we're all having, and with everything that's going on, I feel like me and my friends are having these conversations all the time anyway. So it would feel not authentic to not have the conversation. So in that sense, it felt very natural that this was the kind of stuff that they were dealing with. And I spoke to a friend of mine, Scott Reese, who's a professor at University of Maryland, and he had some friends who were dealing with a kid that wanted to go to a protest too. They didn't want to go. And that was kind of the springboard for the character of Eli. I saw in some of the live comments, someone said, how did everyone come up with the same idea of who Eli was? And we didn't actually really talk about that, but I feel like everyone's Eli was so real.
Interesting, yeah.
He was a character for sure.
That is interesting. That's extremely interesting. I think also too, with the issues, it's whether we're talking about them or not, they're affecting what we're going through right now. How we're behaving, things that are setting us off that may not normally be a big deal. but it's because of what it is. And it's, so whether you're talking about it or not, it's or sometimes you just don't want to talk about it for 30 seconds. This felt like we were saying it in a different way, but it was like everything. I mean, I'm sure you saw, there were several that were like, how was she in our classroom for the last 12 weeks? How is she? The teachers were commenting saying, how did they know what that was? Guy Sanville, you think the relationship between a director and a playwright is really sacred. Will you talk to that? And then I want to show you a little something we put together that kind of proves that point.
Yeah, I in the theater, I think the playwright is the boss. My own personal thing is it's the playwright, it's the actor, and then the director is the third. My job is to help everybody and to find out what they know and hopefully help them to know more. But I work for the playwright always. Whether it's I say, well, it's a new play, but whether it's a a classic or whatever, I work for the playwright. And dead ones are easier to work with than live ones, for sure. But we're at the Purple Rose. We're sort of tooled from soup to nuts to work with living, breathing playwrights. And my job is to serve the play and the playwright, and that's because it's not really. I mean, we have a strong point of view, and we have a concept, and the playwright writes something that inspires a lot of people, and it's about the best. The best idea wins. We can spend 3 hours arguing about which way a door should open, that type of thing, but. I work for the playwright.
Yeah, and I think when we were putting the footage together from rehearsal today, there was a soundbite that Matt and I just kept chuckling at, and so I said we have to do this. And so, with your permission, let's look at some Guy Sanville Carey moments.
For sure, Carey. What time is it, Carey? Carey, do you want to hear the stage directions as well? Good, Carey. Yeah, that's a great question. Carey, anything you want to say?
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much.
It
but
just does, and I think, but also I applaud. One of the things I said to you, Guy, I know because I got to know Guy a lot. I'm just curious, but for the people out there, I got to know Guy a lot when Jeff was in Mockingbird. Obviously, Guy came to New York a couple of times, and Jeff had said, and obviously he talked to each of us about the other. Because I walked in, it felt like an old friend when I met Guy Sanville, and we just launched right in. And when Jeff will do when the spotlight's not on him, he'll make it like he's upset, and he really isn't. He's like, "Oh, by all means, I'm not here. I just didn't do 3 hours of Atticus Finch." We were both like, "Cool," and we just kept talking or whatever. And then we had this exchange when I was up there at New Year's, where it's like we both saw a face, and Guy's like, "I'm very familiar with that face," and I was like, "I've seen that face on him too." So with Guy, it was like he felt very strongly about this process, and I've heard, I spent time at the Purple Rose, but there are so many directors I remember telling him that it's okay to say I don't know. I think so many of them have been in tech before, where it's like you're at that moment where you're trying to figure out what's the way to best tell the story, and it's like that's what all those other departments are there for. Lighting might have an idea that can help our sound, and it's like it's okay to say we're figuring this out right now. But I think there's such pressure to be we have to have all the answers, and we don't. And especially right now with what's going on in life in general, there are not a lot of solid answers on a lot of things. Carey, talk to me for a second about, as you approach, what interests you? Where do you look for interest in new stories and ideas to write about?
Anywhere and everywhere that I can. For me, it usually starts with one kernel of a character, or a character in a situation, or it's, it can be from reading the paper in the morning. It can be from a snippet of conversation on a walk with a friend. It can be from listening to my daughter's classes, Zoom meetings. I mean, she's 9, so the meetings were much different than this one in terms of context, but that definitely helped me craft sort of what happens in those meetings. And then once I have an idea for a play, my whole world starts, you just start to grab something from here, and then there's something over here, and then the percolation starts, and the creative process goes. But usually it takes that kernel, and that kernel can kind of come from everywhere, but that's what I think I do know. It was, Guy and I had spoken, but I vividly remember it. You and I on the phone, just the word isolation came out of both of us around the same time. And I was like, and I had not used that word. Yeah. That was where it was like, oh,
We have a question from the internet, which I think is great, and you guys are being put on the spot with this one and won't have an answer, but what advice do you have for students, and I'm gonna add even teachers, who may have to adapt to this type of performance rehearsals in the upcoming school year? Since it's new to everyone and it was new to us earlier this week, what kind of wisdom can you share about something that, these teachers and students that might be looking at this as a platform to still present art?
Make it fun and be flexible, and don't try to recreate something that you have on live stage, but try to find the connection this way. I guess would be mine.
Yeah, I would, of course, it's easier if you make something for the medium, but just, yeah, have fun. Find a way to write something, and this is an opportunity to really create something. Write something, give yourself some prompts. Teachers can find some great prompts. We'll be glad to send you some. Start out to ask a question. Everybody's scared right now. What are you most afraid of? Write a monologue about it. Just start. I guess that's the best advice I can give. Just start. Get together and start.
Fear of the unknown we've been talking about, and I think that idea has been there. I've heard from some friends that have taken risks. I mean, this is a perfect example. Us all sitting here, there's a risk of a team that took a risk with this, right? But that fear of the unknown, sometimes we just have to launch in and try it. Just because you've never done it before shouldn't stop you, from trying to it. And I think also what I felt today, and also watching the comments, and just is the story wasn't lost. It would have been different in a theater, but I think we communicated the message that this group wanted to communicate today through this medium. So I think we still got a story out there, and I think that's amazing. You two are gonna stick around, but I'm gonna bump you out and we're gonna talk to the cast for a second. But I thank both of you for shepherding us through this piece, and we're gonna see more of you with Project with Jason. I know that, but you'll come back at the end. So let's bump them out. And the comments have been going crazy, saying, "Oh my gosh, high school kids got to perform with Laurie Metcalf. This is amazing." So let's talk to everybody and see what the company thought about this process together. There they are. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
So let's launch right in and just talk to me about what it was like when you found out you were doing this from the three students. Go ahead, Josiah. We're going to start with you. I'm just going to launch right in with you.
Well, first off, I want to say this is a great opportunity. And it means a lot to be performing with a professional actress out of anything. And when I first heard about this, I jumped on it. I obviously was very excited, and later on the nerves come in and everything else, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I've had a blast doing this whole thing. And I definitely see myself in the future doing something like this also. And I just want to thank the cast in general for being so nice to me, and everyone else. Especially with all of us going through trials and tribulations with the internet and etc. And yeah, it was just an amazing time.
I want to say it set a level playing field, because today we were literally having issues during rehearsal today, and I was commenting here to us, and it was like Laurie was texting saying, "Is it just me?" Guys, like, "Is it just me?" I'm like, "Is it us?" And everybody's asking the same questions, and we're all going through it. But the first reaction for us was like blaming ourselves, right? Like, is it just am I the one that's holding up the rest of the process? So you're right. It was just that, but it was the balance that we all were going through it together, right? Shai, what about you? What did you get the phone call and then you're in the Zoom session? What's it been like?
It was amazing. When I first got the phone call, I was like, yes, I can finally do like some art that I really enjoy even during these trying times. Like I love theater and I love acting. So when I got the call, I was like, amazing. Finally, I can do this in quarantine. And then on the Zoom call, it was just amazing. It really felt like I was in a rehearsal process on the stage. It felt so real. It wasn't even like I was communicating over the computer at all. So it was just amazing.
I also loved with this too, when we were all hearing, I would ask you like one or two, but it was like, are you musical theater? And most people are like, I can't sing. And then Laurie said at the top today. So I thought this was amazing that we have students that want to go into acting, that want to go out there and just do straight plays and that. And so I thought that was really amazing. Callie, what about you? On stage, off stage, because you do it both. Which one is your way?
Sorry, my computer just skipped. What did you say?
I said on stage or off stage, because we know you do it both. You're a backstage person and you've also been on stage. Which one do you like more now? What are you thinking?
I don't know. That's a really hard question.
You don't have to give the answer right now. Talk to us about what this experience has been like for you.
When I got off the phone call, it felt like my heart was like puttering for like half an hour, and I was like, "This is gonna be really fun and exciting," and it's been a great experience. And sorry.
No, I think that's great. Laurie Metcalf, please share with everyone what it's like to get a phone call from me asking you to come and, give them your time after like a 15-hour drive day to your home and all. But as being a mother, like I know you tap into some of that during this time because I could see you sparkle working with them earlier in the week. So talk how this process is different or similar to other processes you've been through.
It's been a learning curve for me too, as with everybody in this, big learning curve. But this weird hybrid that we just worked on, I found it sort of comforting that, we were laughing about, are we nervous? Does this make us nervous? But it sort of, there's a bit of a distance and we're in our little bubbles that sort of was a little more calming to me than actual, when we are showing up to, be in a room and actually sit across from each other. This put a little bit of real fake distance between us. So I felt that it was more, we were able to ease into it more without some of the normal stress of a first time, hearing it and, looking at, saying, oh, these are the people I'm going to work with for the next 6 weeks, So that tension was sort of gone. And I really like, who knows how long we will be working this way, but it's kind of a cool hybrid. I'm curious about, and I'm sure, like this StreamYard is new to me. I'm sure things will get more and more finessed.
From your mouth to God's ear.
Yeah, online, so that we can, do those overlaps that we wanted to do and things like that, be cool. And I actually like, sometimes in a theater, whether it's a giant house and you can't sometimes even barely see people's faces. So there's no editing. The audience member gets to look where they want to look, and you're getting to see reactions that maybe on stage you might miss because you've got everybody's face right there. So there's a lot of parts of it that I like.
Yeah, and you, Guy, and Carrie, along with our talented students, but you, Guy, and Carrie giving your voice to this gives it a legitimacy. We would have done it, just to the best of our abilities as well. But you signing on gives it that people will look at this and listen and be like, wait, what are they saying? And then the fact that we have a story that is so relevant right now that will make someone think. And I think that's what theater's supposed to do, right? You're supposed to walk out and you're supposed to think. Do you three have any questions for Miss Metcalf? She only gets referred to as Miss Metcalf when we're not. No, that's not true. Because we haven't gotten to do that. We haven't gotten to sit around and just ask. Do you guys have any questions for her? No, now we're gonna be geeky fans again. Yes, Callie, go ahead.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, I mean, like all of us, I've been sort of sitting around for 2.5 months, and I got that other show that I was doing. The rug got pulled out from under me, so I've been craving to do something creative, So it was great.
Yeah, having an idea of a schedule, there's no question about that. That's what I think we've enjoyed, even, with the hard work it's been with this. It's like nice knowing you have a show at night. You got something to look forward to. Yeah. Shy, Darius, anything? Or Josiah, calling your character name.
Nah, I also want to thank you for just, giving us an opportunity to, show what we can do as well as you doing your thing. You know what I mean? A lot of the times, as students, we wait for that opportunity and we wait the longest time we waited out, but to do it with someone who has already done a lot, is absolutely amazing to me. And I don't want to cry or anything, but I feel like this is a huge opportunity. So thank you so much.
Well, I hope you could feel what I felt just in that minimal, what we rehearsed for a total of like 3.5 hours. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that, how it started, gelling, from our very first read through. I felt it. I hope you guys did too. But the more you do it, it just some things start to pop out. You hear things a little differently, and you mess with the pace, and that's always cool. So I don't know. I really, I felt like we all grew as we were doing it. So what else do you want? That's the feeling that there is.
That's a perfect process. Shai, what you got?
I just want to thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Love fest all of a sudden. It's okay. Go ahead, Shai.
It's just once I learned I was going to do this with you, and like after watching Lady Bird, I was like, wow, I'm actually working with an amazing actress. And it's just, my heart stopped. I was filled with so much like excitement over this opportunity that I was actually going to do art that I love with an amazing person. So
thank you. Well, I was, reacting off you guys. I mean, we're all like pulling from each other, so all right, this was a 4-character little play. I mean, if you replace any other one of us, it would have been subtly different. We'll never know how, but we had our little tiny ensemble, and this is what we did.
Yeah. And I have to tell you guys too, because I always say Google, I love that Lady Bird is a new resurgence with the younger generation, because my friends who are coming in on 40, I'm getting the text of like, Marcy. So it's like, look up Desperate Housewives, y'all. Look at that character. Look at her in Scream. I mean, there's some stuff out there that you see the many faces of Laurie Metcalf playing some amazing roles that have iconic quotes that we all love. So again, Google. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce everybody in for a second, because we all can't be in here together, but I'm just going to introduce you guys one more time. Thank you one more time. We're going to get to do this again just a minute on Zoom calls. We can all say thank you, but it's been a real pleasure, you guys. And for the 3-4 of you with Olivia too, to represent high school performers in the country with this, it was amazing. You did not let your teachers, your schools down. You took, Uncle Buck, that's another one. I was going to throw that one out there, but that is another good one too, Uncle Buck. But you guys really did. You represented, it was great. And, you're the originating company of this, Distance Learning, a short play by Carey Crim, and no one can ever take that away from you. So real fast, one more time, we've got Josiah Chambers from Gresham High School in Oregon, Callie Fichtel from Millard West High School in Nebraska, Cheyenne Torres from San Juan Hills High School in California. Yes, Caroline, do it. Olivia Rosselli from San Juan Hills. Wave at the folks, Olivia. Just say hi. There she is. Mom and Dad can see her. And then for this project, Luke Motzabacher was our stage manager. And obviously the incredible Laurie Metcalf. Thank you all very much. We'll see you in a few minutes. Appreciate you all.
Yeah.
And then let's bring back Guy and Carrie to thank them as well for shepherding us through this piece. Thank you both.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Jason. It was
really enough. And Carrie, if Guy hasn't warned you, we asked him on the Jeff Daniels thing, like, would he come play with Project with Jason? He said yes, and here we are. So I know both of you are now in the family, and I think we're going to be talking sooner rather than later about some future work together, I hope, because it's really been a real joy to have both of you here.
Can't wait, and absolutely honored. So thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys afterwards as well. So thank you both. That's it. Amazing. And yeah, everybody's out there timing it. I think I came in under a schedule today. You're welcome. No, it was amazing. We got to say what we got to say. Like I said, we're going on a little bit of a sabbatical for a couple of weeks. We got the International Thespian Festival kicking off on Monday. They're virtual this year, so if you haven't, there's still seats available. So check that out. You can be in your seat. You can be on the front porch if you want, and see some amazing people speak at that. We've got still shows coming up, so check out, again, subscribe. We've got the Best Of show coming up that Lucy Gallagher will host it, and also some never before seen footage from Projects with Jason. If you were here the night the internet crashed, we've got a whole behind the scenes of what went down. They put together my outtakes from all the openings. That's a real treat. So we got lots of cool stuff coming up, and then some new programming we're gonna be super thrilled to announce coming up soon. So I can't thank everybody enough. 13 weeks. Guy said in one of the clips, he call him because he has no life outside the theater. And there are many of us that really do truly feel that way. So this has been a saving grace for a lot of us to give voice, to have a purpose, to make art in a time that you didn't feel like it. And what's the point, as the play said, why bother? Why bother getting out of bed? So I cannot thank everybody for viewing, the teachers, the students, the bravery, the team here at Project with Jason, all the guest artists, everybody for just coming on board and making it happen. It's been a really amazing ride over the last couple of weeks, and I can't wait to continue that journey. In closing, I just want to let everybody know, as we say who we are and what we are, like, I strongly believe Black Lives Matter. COVID is a thing. Wear your masks, please. It's still Pride Month to the LGBTQIA community. I am a proud member. I stand with you, all the allies. Thank you. Be yourself. Why fight so many years to try and find who you are? Be in the moment and be yourself. Appreciate the time you have, even though you may not know what you're learning from it. Appreciate it. Breathe through the moment. In the end, kindness only matters. And I'm still going to try and be optimistic and dream for that day where we can just look across the street and accept that person who may be different than us. And that's it. And I thank you all. On behalf of everybody at Projects with Jason, we're taking a little summer break. You enjoy your summer break. Please be safe. And until next time, good night. Hey, it's Jason. If you like what you saw, take a second and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and follow us on all social media. Thanks for watching.